Minister, I welcome your comments earlier today, and of course the past 12 months have seen unprecedented turbulence throughout the world due to COVID, and here we have had Brexit, our nearest neighbour, leaving the European Union. And could I just say at the outset as well, the people involved in the agri-food sector, be it the primary producers, the processors and all their employees, they've done excellent work over the past 11-12 months in ensuring that there was no shortage of supply and that the supply chains operated during this unprecedented crisis to a very high standard. It's also heartening to know that the latest Board BA report on the export figures showed that there was only a marginal decline of 2% in 2020. That shows a huge growth since 2009, an upward trajectory of growing exports in the agri-food sector. And great credit is due to our primary producers, the processors and all involved in getting those products to so many markets. And we're all well aware that there was great product diversification, great research and innovation over the years that have enabled us to capture those markets. And I wish the ministers well in their work in trying to ensure that there's further diversification of markets. And I think it's very interesting to note that 30% of our exports go to the EU, 33% to Britain and 33% to other international markets, which shows the diversity and the large number of markets that we're sourcing for our products. Minister, one of the issues of concern to the farming community at present are the rising costs. You take fertiliser, also concerns about diesel costs, and you take farmers who are investing in their holdings, improving their farming infrastructure. They are very concerned at the present time in relation to the timber costs and steel costs, which have risen and have shown no sign of stabilising. So in areas where there's investment, where you have grant schemes, it may be necessary to revise the schedules, the costings that's approved in respect of farm work for grant purposes. Minister, there has been a great expansion in the dairy sector since we succeeded in getting milk quotas removed when that decision was made in November 2008 and then came into effect on the 1st of April 2015. It has been very beneficial for this country in growing our product and growing milk production in a huge way. Minister, again, concerns about beef prices. Unfortunately, they came down recently. They stabilised last week, going by last Friday's report. And again, it's not adequate, and we need a much better return. And thankfully, the dairy markets are showing positive signs on the world market. I think the last 4 or 5 auctions in New Zealand showed a continuous increase at that time in prices. We want that reflected in the return to farmers as well. And one of the huge successes of the Good Friday Agreement and the new political environment we have had in this country since 1998 has been the development of the food industry and the agri-food sector on an all-Ireland basis. That has been for the good. That has happened with major enterprises here developing businesses north of the border, new enterprises there, and similarly some of the northern companies developing businesses here. Minister, if you take one fact, 800 million litres of milk came south for processing last year. Over 400 million of that came to my own constituency, to Lakeland Dairies. There's one issue that I'd like to see addressed and tweaked in regard to the protocol and Brexit, is the fact that if you take milk comes here for processing, then it's obviously processed along with milk that's sourced south of the border. But of course, the Northern Ireland dairy farmers work to EU standards. If the need arises in the future for the dairy sector to get price supports at EU level, then there will be a difficulty for such products, because the Northern Ireland milk will not be termed as an EU product of origin. So, Minister, that's one area that needs to be addressed, and I sincerely hope that that can be tweaked and ensure that if EU supports are needed in the future, that they are there for all product that leaves our country. Thank you.